Hello everybody, it is Hippadippin here, and today we're going to be continuing the Best of Their Type series. Today we're going to be hitting Bug, and like I said in my previous videos, I'm going to be hitting some more of the obscure types first and then working my way to the general. Like today's Bug, maybe in a future video way down the road I'm going to be hitting some more of the more general, more widely used types like Electric, Dragon, Water, stuff like that. So I'm going to be working my way from the specific and the obscure to the general and the widely used. So that's the way I'm going to be doing that. Before we get started today, a couple things. Number one, I'm a little bit sick. My throat is a little bit scratchy, so I do apologize if that comes into conflict with what you guys are hearing. I really don't want that. I don't want to record when I'm sick, but it's been such a long time since I've had an opportunity to record like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and record anyway. Number two, I've gotten some of your guys' comments over Twitter and over the YouTube comments, and some of you have been saying that maybe what I should start doing is start speeding it up a little bit, which is completely fine. I do not mind speeding it up a bit at all, especially today since I'm kind of under the weather, but we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to be moving a little bit faster today and just see how it goes. Alright, so thank you very much, and let's go ahead and get started. The Bug type is an interesting type. Number one, they are statistically the weakest type. Now, some of you have been saying, why on earth would I use a statistically weak Pokemon? Well, here's the thing. I had an easier time coming up with this list than I did coming up with my rock list, you see? So that's going to kind of work out better for the Bug type. The Bug type is a type that is able to... a lot of them have awesome move pools. And what that means is they're able to work around some of their weaknesses and kind of push it in their advantage. Pokemon like Heracross, Pokemon like Pinsir are able to go ahead and do that in ways that you wouldn't expect them to. Like Pinsir has access to amazing fighting type moves that would be kind of beneficial for it, especially when dealing with types like Steel and Rock. The fighting type moves are going to help it out in a variety of ways I can't even describe, in a bunch of situations that I can't even come up with. So that's going to help it out in general. However, they do tend to be a pretty weak to Stealth Rocks. Bug is a very common type to pair with Flying, and what that means is they're going to be taking 50% every single time they come in, which really only means you can send them in once, maybe twice if you have the right EV spread. Excuse me, but in general, you're not going to be able to go ahead and do that over and over and over again. But really, you are going to have to watch out for those Stealth Rocks, and because of that, they do require strong team support, so that is something you are going to have to watch out for. But in general, the Bug type is a type that can usually work well on its own, but it is going to require that team support to be highly effective. Now, it's not true for all Bug types, but in general, that's the way it's going to go. So let's go ahead and move on to our number 10 Pokemon, which is going to be Shuckle. And Shuckle is a really interesting Pokemon in that it has very extreme stat distribution. It has 20 base HP and then 230 in both defenses, and that is incredible. That is extremely drastic. I mean, the thing is, his defenses are 210 points higher than his HP, which is crazy. But all that means is he's going to be used in different ways. So let's go ahead and take a look. It has the highest extreme stat distribution with defenses of 20, 230, and 230. And that is really what makes Shuckle unique. Maybe if its defenses were a little bit more even in terms of bulking up its HP a little bit and maybe sacrificing special defense, you would see Shuckle everywhere, I swear. But the thing is, Shuckle is such a weird Pokemon that it really sees limited usage. So that's why I said high defenses make up for low HP, kind of. Because the thing is, Shuckle has awesome defenses, yeah, but it doesn't have a whole lot of HP to work with. And that low HP is definitely going to come in conflict with some of the things that make Shuckle unique. Shuckle can go ahead and take hits all goddamn day, but that doesn't matter if it can't help itself from being worn down every turn. But anyway, Shuckle is one of the most diverse defensive Pokemon I've seen, and that makes it all the more unique. His extreme stat distribution is going to force people to play it in different ways to make it more effective. So you might see stuff split right down the middle, or you can go ahead and see it one higher than the other. That's usually how people will run it. And it is a good sticky web setter, so that's kind of works out for it. However, the thing that ruins Shuckle a little bit is its lack of recovery, so you are definitely going to have to watch out for that. For his set, 252 in HP and 250 plus in special defense is a good set. You're going to want to boost up that special defense, send Shuckle in there, he can take all the hits all day, and you can pretty much have a safe, somewhat reliable, specially defensive Pokemon. And 4 in defense, just for the hell of it, you're not going to be doing anything with that attack stat. And a negative nature and special attack, you can honestly put the negative nature in special attack, or speed. Does not matter at all. And sturdy is going to be the ability of choice, just because allow you to live that one hit, although Shuckle is almost never going to be brought down to it if it's at full HP. Leftovers, of course, going to be your primary item, just bring you back up to health each turn, and it really helps boost Shuckle's longevity. So leftovers, definitely a viable option. Pretty much the only option, really. And Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Toxic, and Power Split are pretty much going to be Shuckle's primary moves. Power Split's kind of unique because it splits the difference between Shuckle's attack stat and the opponent's attack stat, and Shuckle pretty much is pathetic in every way in regards to its attack and special attack, so you are going to want to split that down right down in the middle, and that's going to decimate some of the higher attackers, so that's pretty much where that's going to come along. So Power Split, definitely good move. You might as well have Will-O-Wisp then. That's how bad it is. So Power Split, definitely a good option. Go ahead and run it. So that is pretty much going to wrap up Shuckle. Let's go ahead and move on to number 9, which is going to be Vivillon. And Vivillon is kind of a really interesting Pokemon. In case you don't know, a lot of these butterfly, moth-type Pokemon tend to do one thing and one thing really well. They tend to set up a quiver dance and then go ahead and sweep. But the thing is about Vivillon is people have come up with effective ways in stopping it, so you are going to have to be a little bit more creative when using it. Or a little bit more clever. That's what I meant to say. However, Vivillon gets an awesome move pool. A move pool you're going to want to use to the most effectiveness that you can. I know I didn't word that right, but that's the way you want to do it. And its Compound Eyes ability is going to allow for super accurate hurricanes and sleep powders, which is awesome. And the thing about Vivillon is, he is so capable. He's more capable than some of the other Pokemon. Say like, what is it? Venomoth? Venomoth from Gen 1 does get Compound Eyes, but the thing is, Venomoth does not get access to the same type of move that Vivillon would. Venomoth is going to have a hard time hitting Hurricanes when it can't even learn it, so that's where Vivillon gets that bonus, and it also gets Stab from Hurricane, so that's a huge benefit to it. And Vivillon is going to be able to set up that Quiver Dance, boost its special attack, special defense, and speed all in one go, and that is going to make it awesome. However, you're going to have to watch out for those 4-time Stealth Rock weakness, and that's pretty much going to limit you to one switch in. I mean, unless you balance the EVs correctly, but really that is not going to save you in most scenarios, so you are going to have to watch out for that. But in general, only one switch in with Stealth Rocks, so you are going to have to make it count. And it gets a relatively poor stat distribution. It's a butterfly. You don't expect much from it, but it can be slightly irritating to deal with. If you go ahead and set it up with a Quiver Dance, the opponent's going to have a hard time dealing with it. So let's go ahead and look at his set. 252 in special attack and 252 plus in speed, 4 in special defense, and a negative nature in attack. that is going to set you up for a perfect sweeper. It really is. And once you go ahead and set up a quiver dance, you are going to be so set. It's crazy. So, compound eyes, ability of choice, focus sash or life orb. Kind of balance it out between the two. Focus sash guarantees you'll live one hit. You can go ahead and put the opponent to sleep, set up a quiver dance, and you're golden. Provided the team does not have a reliable way to counter you with like Sucker Punch or something like that. Or Life Orb if you want to hit a bit harder, but generally I like to lean more towards Focus Sash. If you can get rid of those Stealth Rocks, awesome. Focus Sash is going to be your item of choice. But if not, kind of balance it out a little bit. Decide what your team needs. If it needs that extra power, maybe Life Orb. But if not, I definitely would go with Focus Sash. Bug Buzz, Quiver Dance, Sleep Powder, and Hurricane are going to be your moves of choice. And that is going to help you out in the long run. Bug Buzz, general good special attacking bug move. Quiver Dance, set yourself up. Sleep Powder, go ahead and put the opponent to sleep, maybe even set up some more Quiver Dances if you're able. And Hurricane as a general awesome stab move. And that's what you're going to want to run with. But yes, in general, these four moves are the moves you are going to want to run with, and definitely will help you out in the long run. Vivillon can be very potent if played correctly, and trust me, I have been destroyed by Vivillon in many scenarios, so if you can, use it effectively. Vivillon will serve you for a very long time if you can play it correctly. So that's all I have to say about that. Let's move on. Number 8 is going to be Fortress, and Fortress is a unique Pokemon. It's a very common Pokemon I've found, and it's common for a reason. It sets up things so effectively, and then it can just, leave. That's pretty much what it does. It leaves the whole game. It explodes in your face, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But the thing is, this thing, all it does is it explodes. Well, before it explodes, it sets up all the hazards it can, and then it explodes. So that is the thing you are going to have to watch out for. Great base 140 defense. This thing can take hits like a monster. And it is a fantastic entry hazard setter. That's what people use it as. It's a lead. If you see a Fortress 99% of the time, they're going to lead with it. So you are going to want to run with it. But yeah, pretty much that's what Fortress's job was. That's what it was designed to be. They wouldn't have given it this move pool of setting up Toxic Spikes, Stealth Rocks, if they didn't want it to be a lead. And it's able to Rapid Spin. It's a very good Rapid Spinner too. That's another bonus it has. And it has a generally good move pool for setting up all those hazards. And also, it's able to go ahead and hit hard in return with a crazy powerful explosion. So you are going to have to watch out for that. However, it is 4 times weak to fire, and it is easily shut down by special attacks. If you see a Fortress on the opposing team and you have any decent special attacker that can hit it neutrally, you send that special attacker out and it's going to do the job for you. You don't even need fire. If you can 2-hit KO it, you're fantastic. And pretty much any highly powered special attacker like Alakazam or what's another one? Blastoise maybe. They can definitely 2-hit KO that thing, no problem whatsoever. And that's another downfall to Fortress. It's very predictable. A lot of people run it, and a lot of people run it for the same reason. So if you're going to be using a Fortress, just keep that in mind, and you should be able to work around that. If you want to, you can maybe send Fortress out later. Predict their lead, and then send yours out when it's safe to do so. But in general, Fortress is going to be a pretty decent lead. So let's go ahead and take a look at his set. 252 in HP and 252 plus in defense. That's what you're going to want to run with. Excuse me. You don't need Fortress to be the absolute most defensive thing, but it definitely helps if you can save it for later and then use it to take hits or maybe as a fantastic pivot. But really, that's what you're going to want to do with its EVs. And foreign special defense, just for the hell of it, it really doesn't matter. But foreign special defense just allows you to maybe live with 1 HP. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, that is going to help you out. And a negative nature and special attack. Sturdy, of course, a good ability for any Pokemon. Definitely for a lead. absolutely for a lead. Sturdy is going to definitely help you out in that regard. And leftovers, just to get that HP back up turn per turn. It is, I found, to be the most effective one if you want to keep Fortress around. You know, who knows? But yeah, leftovers is a good item to go ahead and run. Spikes is going to be the move of choice. Spikes is going to allow you to go ahead and set it up to 3 times, and it's going to be dealing 25% regardless of any Pokemon that touches it, provided they do touch it. Flying Pokemon and levitating Pokemon are exempt. However, Spikes is a good move to go ahead and have. It breaks Focus Sashes and it prevents Pokemon from going in, keeping up their Sturdy. So you can kind of use that to your advantage. Spikes, Stealth Rock, of course, same thing. And Toxic Spikes, if you want to go ahead and keep them poisoned over time, they are guaranteed to die over time if you poison them. So if you can play out the stall game, Toxic Spikes are going to be what you want to run with. So that is a definite good idea to go ahead and run. However, Gyro Ball is another good option if you want to deal some damage if maybe you're taunted. Who knows? But Gyro Ball is a good, powerful move, and Fortress actually has a base 90 attack stat that can help it out in certain situations. So Gyro Ball is a good option as well. And Explosion. Explosion is, of course, after you set up all your stuff, or as much stuff as you can go ahead and explode in the opponent's face and kind of deal a huge amount of damage. Explosion is crazy powerful, and you are going to be dealing some hefty damage that the opponent's going to have to work really hard to offset. So definitely weaken some Pokemon with Explosion, and go ahead and set up your team to go ahead and revenge kill. So that kind of works out very nicely. And Rapid Spin, of course, to get rid of those other hazards. But in general, this is the way that Fortress is run, and I feel like this is the best way that Fortress is run. You're not going to really see it any better than this, and that's what Fortress was designed to be. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up Fortress. Let's go ahead and move on to our next Pokemon, which is going to be Solipede. And if you watch my poison video, Solipede is a very decent Pokemon indeed. Solipede is mostly designed to be a Pokemon that can set up and then baton pass out of there. And like almost all speed boost Pokemon, it can be run in different ways. Solipede can also be offensive, and it can be defensive as well, setting up maybe an iron defense and being able to take hits and deal damage back. So Solipede definitely is a viable Pokemon. Let's go ahead and take a look. Like I said, it is a superb baton passer. Excellent setup moves, excellent. And with the combination of baton pass, you are going to be able to move that along throughout your team and generally keep your whole team healthy. Well, not healthy, but set up so they don't have to waste turns doing it. So that is definitely a good option. Access to Speed Boost, like always, is a benefit to any Pokemon, and it is diverse and unpredictable. And it is a good team supporter as well. And what that unpredictability is going to do is keep your opponent on their toes so they don't know what's coming next. It can set up itself and be offensive, and that really is what helps Solipede in the long run if you want it to be that role. If you want it to be just a good baton passer, great, you found one of the best. But if you want it to be a team supporter and be offensive itself, Solipede does that job excellently as well. However, it has an unimpressive base 100 attack, but that can be offset by a Sword Stance, so that kind of works out nicely. And like all of these Pokemon, it is Stealth Rock weak, so you do have limited switch-ins, which kind of hurts the fact that it is a baton passing Pokemon, because usually with those types of Pokemon, you do want to get them in, set them up, and then move it along, and then maybe get them back in again if need be. But Stealth Rock is going to make it so that they are going to have to work around that. If you are going to be using Solipede, which I recommend you do, you are going to have to think about how many times you can switch it in and how many uses you can get out of it per turn. So you are going to have to keep thinking about that. Keep that in your head while you're using this Pokemon, and it should work wonders for you. So let's go ahead and move on. 252 in HP and 252 plus at speed. You want a bulky, fast Pokemon. That's what you want. And as much HP as you can get, allow you to live as many hits as you can, and the faster you are, the more times you're going to be able to set up stuff. That's just the way it is. and a 4 in defense and a negative nature in special attack. Speed boost is its hidden ability, and it's the ability you should be relying on the most because it will serve you turn per turn. It doesn't matter if sticky web is up, doesn't matter at all. The speed boost is going to heal you, not really, but it is going to negate that and boost you per turn, which is great. Max out your speed in only 6 turns, and you should be a very fast Pokemon. That is for sure. Focus Sash is going to be your item of choice, allow you to live any hit, and with that you could set up maybe a Swords Dance or an Iron Defense and pass that along. So that is great. And like I just said, Swords Dance is an awesome move. Boost yourself and then move it on to your teammate. Baton Pass allows you to transfer all those stat boosts to another Pokemon. Iron Defense, of course, another way to go ahead and help you out. And Protect if you want another speed boost, or Endeavor in case you're brought down to your Focus Sash, where you can then bring the opponent down to 1 HP, and then your team is going to have a super easy time killing that guy. So that's the way it's going to go with Solipede. As you can see, it's a simple Pokemon, but it is an effective one. You can easily set it up in many scenarios. Solipede has a super easy time doing that, and then you can go ahead and bop them hard with your teammate. That's the way Solipede works, and that's the way it is most effective. If you use it that way, you are going to be rewarded for it. Trust me. Alright, so next Pokemon is going to be Galvantula. And if you watch my videos, you know Galvantula is a Pokemon I rely on a lot, although I don't necessarily use it as well as I should. Galvantula is a Pokemon that is an excellent setup Pokemon, and pretty much that's it. It has a fairly weak special attack stat of 97, but couple that with Thunder and Compound Eyes, and you should be doing some pretty good damage. So let's go ahead and take a look. It is a fantastic hazard setter. That is what Galvantula is. It's probably the best Pokemon to go ahead and set up Sticky Web out of all of them. Except for maybe Smeargle, but Smeargle is kind of, Smeargle's kind of everything, and I am not a fan of Smeargle. But regardless, Galvantula is a fantastic hazard setter. That's what it was designed to be, I believe. Well, that's the way it kind of worked out. And it is a great team supporter. It goes along with Sticky Web. That is pretty much why people use Galvantula. And it works out for them majority of the time. If you see a team with Galvantula, chances are it is going to be running Sticky Web. You are not going to see a team, a Pokemon player using Galvantula without Sticky Web. That's the whole reason people use it. So you can count on that and kind of work around it and prevent them from setting that up. Compound Eyes allows for reliable thunders. Again, 97 special attack is nothing to write home about, but Thunder is a powerful move and that can kind of offset it. And it can be a hard hitter as well, especially if you have a team that is very water-centric or flying-centric. Galvantula is going to be able to hit them pretty decently. And it does have a really awesome move pool. You are going to have ways to work around some of the weaknesses that Galvantula has, namely that weak special attack. You have a plethora of powerful special moves that you can go ahead and make use of. And it can be a serious nuisance for the opponent. Definitely. I have been mad many a times when a Galvantula has set up Sticky Web, and I just lose because of it. It's a very viable strategy. Excuse me. But it is very predictable. If you, like I just said, if you see a team with Galvantula on it, they are going to be using Sticky Web at some point in the match generally. So that is the way you want to run that. Galvantula is a good Pokemon though. It's a very good Pokemon. That's why it's this high on the list. So let's go ahead and take a look at his set. 252 in special attack and 252 plus in speed, 4 in special defense, and a negative nature in attack. That, like I said, for Vivillon, that is the way you want to run it. Just timid, freaking max speed, and max special attack. Well, as high as you can get it, so that's the way you want to work it. Compound Eyes, the ability of choice, more accurate moves is a good thing, and Thunder is going to be a lot more reliable with that. Focus Sash, allow you to live any hit. If you want to lead off with it, great. and you can go ahead and get that sticky web up, provided they don't have a defogger or a rapid spinner. You might want to gauge it based on that, whether you lead with it or not. And energy ball or Giga Drain, excuse me. I prefer Energy Ball just because it is more powerful, although Giga Drain will allow you to go ahead and switch in on a Stealth Rock. Giga Drain, get your health back up to full, and you should be able to live another one. That's the way Giga Drain is kind of useful for Galvantula. Get your health back, but really, you're going to want to use max power moves. That's why I prefer Energy Ball. Kind of offset that base 97 special attack, so that's the way it kind of goes with that. Bug Buzz is a good stab move and just fills in another slot that Galvantula can make use of. But Sticky Web is going to be the crowning jewel of this set, let me tell you. Sticky Web is going to be the reason why you use Galvantula, the reason why anybody uses Galvantula over another Pokemon, and Galvantula is easily the best Sticky Web user, and it's that for a reason. It's fast, and it's able to set it up in most scenarios. So that's what you generally want to run it on. So yeah, that is going to be Galvantula. Let's go ahead and move on. Our next Pokemon is going to be Volcarona. And Volcarona is an awesome Pokemon. Generally, for this list in particular, Pokemon 5 and up are just awesome. They are great Pokemon to go ahead and use, and Volcarona is definitely a part of that. Despite being one of the ugliest Pokemon I've ever seen, it is very effective in what it can do. So let's go ahead and take a look. It has extremely offensive stats: 135, 105, and 100. I think, well, I kind of messed that up. 135 special attack, 105 special defense, and 100 speed. My mistake. It does not have an attack set of 135. My bad indeed. So sorry about that. Sorry for the confusion. But yeah, 135 special attack is great. It is really, really good, and coupled with a high special defense and a high speed, makes Volcarona a very potent Pokemon. Opposing players are not going to want to play around with Volcarona on the field, just because it has the ability to set itself up through its moves and just decimate, absolutely decimate, once it goes ahead and sets up. Really, that's what it comes down to. It is extremely effective as a setup sweeper. If you can get one Quiver Dance up, I mean, you're golden. You can go ahead and Quiver Dance up, and then go ahead and use Fire Dance, its signature move, which will boost, has a 50% chance to boost your special attack by one stage. So that is great. You can go ahead and get a Quiver Dance up, get kills with Fiery Dance, and just keep boosting yourself. And that's the way Volcarona runs. And it's freaking awesome. It really is. Great move pool. Really awesome move pool, and Volcarona takes advantage of that 100%. However, 4 times weak to Stealth Rock only lets in 1 switch in. So, you are going to have to plan it pretty effectively if Stealth Rocks are on the field. If not, great. But if they are, you are going to want to watch out for that. Volcarona is one of those Pokemon that can only come in once, and if you mess it up, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. You are going to have to plan it pretty effectively, pretty safely. You are going to have to rely on team support to get this Pokemon in there. But if you can, all the better for it. It really is. So let's go ahead and take a look at his set. 252 in special attack, 252 plus in speed, and 4 in special defense, and a negative nature and attack. That is going to help Volcarona in the long run. This is the spread you want for most general special attackers. And I'm going to tell you why. Just, you want it to be as fast as possible and hit as hard as possible with that max speed. So you are definitely going to want to put the plus with speed rather than special attack, just because generally you want to be as fast as possible, faster than the opponent, and that way you're going to be able to last out there a little bit longer, provided they don't hit you first with like a priority move. And Flame Body is going to be your preferred ability. Volcarona really only gets access to 2, and Flame Body is going to be the beneficial one. It really is. So maybe if the opponent makes a contact move with you, you have the chance to burn them, and then their subsequent attacks are going to be doing much, much less. So sorry about that. Sorry about that, opponent, really. sucks to be you when I got Flame Body. But Life Orb or Expert Belt are going to be your items of choice. Life Orb, good freaking move, or item, excuse me. Really good item. And it's going to be boosting your attacks by 33% at the cost of some of your HP per turn. So, that is something to watch out for. You don't want Volcarona to get too low. You really don't, just because that means the opponent's going to have an easier time to destroy you. However, if you can get a couple Quiver Dances up, one up, and then keep Fiery Dancing and boosting yourself even further, it's just going to be over for the opponent. It really is. Provided they don't have a really excellent switch-in, Volcarona is just going to go to town. But Expert Belt is another good item to go ahead and have. But for his moves, Fiery Dance, I already went over that. Psychic hits fighting types hard, hits poison types hard, hits a lot of types very, very hard, and is in general a good coverage move. Bug Buzz is a good stab move, like I said. Same thing with what's the thing? Same thing with Galvantula. Bug Buzz is a very good stab move, and Quiver Dance is there just to go ahead and boost yourself up even further. So that's going to wrap up Volcarona. Our next Pokemon is going to be Heracross and Mega Heracross. Two very different Pokemon. And I almost didn't include Mega Heracross in here just because the regular Heracross sees so much more usage. But we're going to go ahead and see why in a second. Heracross base stats 80, 125, 75, 40, 95, and 85. And Mega Heracross's base stats are 80, 185, 115, 40, 105, and 75. So Heracross is one of those Pokemon with an awesome move pool. It really takes advantage of all those moves to go ahead and give it great coverage. Great when paired with a choice item that is its base form, not its mega form, and Moxie allows for quicker kills eventually. If you can catch a few Pokemon off guard, you're going to be able to bop them even harder. And Skill Link for the Mega Heracross allows for great repetitive attacks for maximum damage. If you land a Rock Blast, you're going to be doing times that by 5. Awesome move. Breaks through focus sashes, breaks through things like multi-scale if you're going to be dealing with that. But it really is a good move, a good ability. However, it is relatively slow. That's where the choice item comes in. Maybe Choice Scarf for Heracross, or you could rely on Sticky Web or some other form of speed control. But really, Heracross is going to be a Pokemon that is going to rely on its team to go ahead and help it out with its speed, or a choice item, Choice Scarf in particular. For his set, regular Heracross set, you're going to want to run 252 in attack and 252 plus in speed. The reason why we're not running max attack with a Choice Scarf is because you can go ahead and boost your attack further with Moxie, provided you get a kill. You can get your speed up to a certain amount and you're probably not going to have to worry about it later, but your attack is going to keep on boosting itself provided you keep getting kills, so that's the way that works. And for an HP and a negative nature and special attack, you are not going to need that special attack whatsoever. And Moxie is its hidden ability and the ability you want to run with. Choice Scarf, Choice Band, or Life Orb, up to you. I definitely prefer Choice Scarf. Choice Band is a good option if you want to be a lot more offensive, but I prefer Choice Scarf. Get that speed up to a certain amount, that way you don't have to worry about it anymore, and then you can go ahead and wreck with your awesome move pool. And Life Orb's there if you want a little bit more power at the cost of some of your HP per turn. Close Combat is a generally good move. Yeah, it is going to lower both of your defenses a little bit, but it is a very powerful one, and you can go ahead and not have to worry about it if you have a Choice Scarf that will boost your speed. So Close Combat is a good move if you are willing to take some of the defense drops. Although that could be definitely remedied by switching out and switching in again if it gets too low to the point where you're getting a little scared and the opponent might be faster than you. Mega Horn, good stab move, a little bit unreliable due to its low accuracy, but Mega Horn is a good move to go ahead and run for stab pretty much, and its Heracross is one of his best moves. Rock Slide is there for coverage. Choice Scarf is going to allow you to be very fast, and it's going to allow you to go ahead and bop some of those flying types a little bit harder than they would have expected. Heracross works that way primarily because flying types don't expect it to be faster with a Choice Scarf. and you can go ahead and get kills with it, or you can predict things. That's the way it kind of works. And Pursuit or Night Slash, I prefer Pursuit, get that Moxie up, and it traps some of the opponents in before they can switch out. So Pursuit is a very good move, and it allows you to get some of that bonus damage in before they leave. But in general, Heracross is an awesome Pokemon. You really don't even need its Mega Form to be successful, although they are two very different Pokemon. Mega Heracross, however, is very different. You're going to want to run it much more bulkier. 252 in HP and 252 plus in attack is going to allow you to boost that attack to maximum levels. And paired with that huge base 185 attack stat, you are going to be doing massive damage. 4 in defense and a negative nature and special attack. Like I said earlier, you do not need that special attack. Skill Link is going to be your only ability, so let's go ahead and run with it. Heracrossite is of course going to be your item, and Close Combat, Pin Missile, Rock Blast, or Bullet Seed. Now I've heard some cases for Arm Thrust for the fighting move, but Close Combat is still more powerful than Arm Thrust would be. Although Arm Thrust would break through Sturdy and stuff like that, Close Combat is in general a better move to go ahead and run with. Excuse me. But Pin Missile, of course, is a good bug move to go ahead and link with Skill Link, and it hits repetitively, so Breakthrough, Focus Sash, and Sturdy and stuff like that, it's going to help you out in the long run. Sorry guys, I got kind of cut off there by my recorder crashing, but like I said, Pin Missile is a good move to go ahead and run with, and Rock Blast and Bullet Seed are generally good coverage moves as well. Bullet Seed hits those bulky ground types, bulky water types that you wouldn't be able to hit naturally do with his other moves, and Rock Blast hits those flying types on the switch and hits a lot of Pokemon hard, and is in general an awesome coverage move. So let's go ahead and move on to number 3, which is going to be Mega Pinsir. And Mega Pinsir is a unique Pokemon in that it has seen some very different usage. Recently it was put down to UU and then immediately taken out, but it is a good Pokemon indeed. It is very, very powerful in the right hands, it really is. And we'll see why here in a second. Great setup attacker, one Swords Dance, and it can destroy entire teams, no doubt about it. And Aerialate is going to boost your normal type moves, make them stab, and give them a boost in power too. That is going to be awesome. And it really helps out with Mega Pinsir. You can run Return and just destroy. You really don't have to work that hard with Mega Pinsir to make it effective. And few Pokemon can effectively counter it, and it is very hard to stop. That goes along with its insane power. Set up one Swords Dance and it's over. However, it is 4 times weak to Stealth Rock, so you are going to have to watch out for that. One switch in, like always, and that's going to limit Pinsir severely. That's the reason why you don't see it around so much, because generally people don't have all the opportunities in the world to get rid of Stealth Rocks, and Mega Pinsir just sees much limited usage after that. So let's go ahead and take a look at his set. 252 in attack and 252 plus in speed, 4 in defense, and a negative nature and special attack. That's going to boost you up even further, and you're not really going to have to kill yourself by not making it max attack, just because Mega Pinsir's attack is going to be boosted even further by Aerialate. So Aerialate, of course, is going to be your ability of choice. Pinsirite is, of course, going to be your item, and Return, Quick Attack, Swords Dance, and X-Scissor is going to be your move pool, your move set, really. And Return, just general power. Paired with Aerialate, it's going to be doing massive, massive damage. And Quick Attack is, of course, going to be boosted by Aerialate, make it stab, and it's going to be fairly powerful as well. So Quick Attack, generally a pretty sucky move, but it's going to get that priority that Mega Pinsir needs. Swords Dance is going to boost you up even further, and X-Scissor, another good stab move to go ahead and rely on. X-Scissor is going to work wonders for you, and it really will benefit you due to its awesome stab typing with Mega Pinsir's high attack. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for Mega Pinsir. Let's go ahead and move on. Our next Pokemon is going to be Mega Beedrill. And this is a Pokemon I've mentioned a lot, and for a reason. Mega Beedrill is just so effective, it's hard to ignore. If you play any amount of Pokemon, you've probably seen Mega Beedrill, and you've probably seen just how powerful it is, even in inexperienced hands. Thanks to its adaptability ability, you don't even have to rely on its awesome base 150 attack stat to make it effective. Mega Beedrill is just going to be U-turning all over the place and poison jabbing you so hard you don't even know what to do with. It's so crazily effective that so many people are using it now that its usage is out of this world. But let's go ahead and take a look. Base 145 attack stat and 145 speed. Adaptability allows for serious damage, which it always does with any Pokemon that has it, and it outspeeds anything that is not Choice Scarfed. It really does. Not many Pokemon have that type of speed. The only thing you're really going to be contending with is maybe going to be Mega Sceptile. And pretty much Mega Sceptile is going to be your only real counter. It's not even a counter, it's just something you compete with speed-wise. Yeah, excuse me, that was my phone. And it's U-turn's going to pack massive damage and switching potential. You're going to be moving in and out of the whole place, and you're not even going to know what to do with yourself just because of how powerful it is. And it 2-hit KOs a chunk of the metagame. Its U-turns are going to be so crazily effective that it's going to be doing serious damage that the opponent just cannot ignore. However, Stealth Rock is going to limit your switch-ins, and it is going to be possible to switch into things since Mega Beedrill has insanely low defense. I mean, Mega Beedrill is so weak. I mean, it can deal damage, but it just can't take any at all. And it needs Protect to get that speed boost that it gets from 145 speed. From its previous, I believe it's 90, so it's a massive increase, and you are going to need Protect to get that speed boost eventually. However, if you can work it to the point where you can get that speed boost without going for Protect, more power to you. The only thing is you're not going to get as many opportunities to do that. So, let's move on. 252 in attack and 252 plus at speed, 4 in special defense, and a negative nature in special attack. That's what you want to run with. I don't really need to go into detail on that, so let's move on. Adaptability, boost your stab bonus from 1.5 to 2. So 2 times all the damage on your stab moves. It's awesome. Beedrillite is of course going to be your item. Poison Jab, U-turn, or X-Scissor. Protect, Knockoff, Drill Run, or Pursuit are going to be your moves of choice. Poison Jab, standard move. Maybe even get poisoned if you jab them in the right places, I guess. U-turn gives you insane switching potential, and I prefer it over X-Scissor just because that way you can get Mega Beedrill in and out of dangerous situations faster. And Protect to get that speed boost. Excuse me. Knockoff, Drill Run, or Pursuit are going to be your 3 moves that you can alternately go with. Knockoff is a good move to go ahead and use if you want to get rid of that item. Drill Run's a good coverage move, gets rid of some of those Rock-type Pokemon. Probably not as effective in most situations because you generally don't want to be in the same playing field with a Rock-type Pokemon if you're using Mega Beedrill in the first place. But Drill Run's there if you want to catch them on the switch-in, and it's good all around for Steel types, types that would generally resist Mega Beedrill. And Pursuit's going to trap those Pokemon that are in with you, and it's going to make it so that it's much harder to get out of a bad situation with Mega Beedrill. But really, yeah, that's going to wrap up Mega Beedrill. Insanely powerful. That's why it's number 2 on this list. But let's go ahead and move on to number 1. For our number 1 Pokemon, it is going to be Scizor and Mega Scizor. 2 Pokemon that are so effective on their own that they don't even need any team support like some of the other Pokemon on this list. These 2 Pokemon are so capable that they can take down entire teams after one Swords Dance boost. And it really helps them out in the long run. It really does. These 2 Pokemon work so well on their own that you can seriously build a whole team around them and not even need their help. That's the way that these Pokemon shine. And they really do shine once you've unlocked their full potential. So let's go ahead and take a look. Scizor's stats are 70, 130, 100, 30, 55, 80, and 65, which are kind of low on the other side, like the other half of the spectrum. But that insane attack and defense stat are awesome. It really is. And Mega Scizor's stats are 70, 150, 140, 65, 100, and 75. So you do see kind of a distinction between the 2. Mega Scizor, of course, gets that attack boost, but it also gets a big defensive bonus as well. I prefer to run Mega Scizor a little bit more defensively, and regular Scizor a little bit more offensively. So that's the way I like to do things, and it works out for me in most scenarios. They both have great offensive potential and are extremely viable in higher tiers. I have seen regular Scizor be extremely effective in Ubers. That's the way it is. Scizor is just such a powerful Pokemon on its own. You really don't need to rely on any others to support it. If anything, it's going to be supporting others. And it freaking gets awesome Stab, Technician, Bullet Punch. And it hits like a truck. That's the reason why Scizor is so powerful. It's Bullet Punch, Technician, Stab boosted move out of this world. It really is. And it has access to good recovery in the form of Roost, and that's going to be helping it survive even further. However, it is 4 times weak to fire, so you are going to have to watch out for that. For regular Scizor, its set is going to be 252 in HP and 252 plus in attack. Its speed is so low you don't even have to worry about it. If you make Scizor fast, you're going to be losing out on some of that bulk, so I prefer to run max HP and max attack. 4 in defense and a negative nature and special attack is going to just round out the rest of your stats as well. Technician, of course, Choice Band or Life Orb is going to be your item of choice. Choice Band is definitely seeing much more usage than Life Orb, but both are equally viable in making a very powerful Pokemon. Bullet Punch is there, of course, as the crowning jewel in the Scizor set. That's the reason why everybody uses it, and it's so effective it's crazy. That priority, you don't even need speed. And Bug Bite is another powerful move that gets Technician Boost, and Aerial Ace is another move that gets Technician Boost, and it just is a good rounding out move. Knockoff and Superpower are outside of the Technician Boost range, but they are still viable moves in their own right. Knockoff is just going to get rid of other opponents' items and just help out your team in crippling some of the opponent's Pokemon. And Superpower is there to get rid of some of those bulky rock types, bulky steel types that Scizor would otherwise have a hard time dealing with. So Superpower rounds out the set pretty nicely, as well as Knockoff. It's really a choice between the two, and go with whatever your team needs or whatever you feel is much more useful to you. For Mega Scizor, you're going to want to do things a little bit differently. 252 in HP and 252 plus in defense. I much prefer to run Mega Scizor defensively just because of how well it can do it and boost itself in the process to the point where you don't even need attack. And 4 in attack and negative nature in special attack. Technician, of course, is going to be your same ability. Scizorite is going to be your item. And Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, Roost, Sword Stance, or Defog is going to be your moves. Bullet Punch, same thing. Bug Bite, same thing. Roost, keep yourself healthy throughout the game, which is a boon to any defensive Pokemon. And Sword Stance or Defog is going to be your other choice. Sword Stance boosts your 2 moves even further, to the point where you don't even need to have any attack investment to be effective, and Sword Stance is going to pretty much help you out, and you can be defensive and offensive at the same time. And Defog is going to get rid of some of those hazards that plague the field. And you know what? If you have any other bug-type Pokemon, it's going to get rid of those pesky Stealth Rocks that plague so many of them. And that's what really rounds out this Pokemon. Mega Scizor is extremely effective. That's why it is number 1 at this list. It really is. And you're not going to see too many Pokemon that can do its job just as well as Mega Scizor can. And I feel like I don't need to go into any more detail on that. If you just try out Mega Scizor, you'll see how effective it is. And if you haven't been using it, you'll notice why you should be using it now. But yes, that's going to round out this video. Thank you so much for watching. It does take quite a while to go ahead and make these. And I'm sorry this one came a little bit later. But I'm trying my best here, I really am. And I tried to go a little bit faster. I don't know how noticeable it is, but hopefully you guys will leave a comment saying what you liked and what you don't like. So thank you very much. Every little bit you do helps out my channel. Every like and share helps out my channel. So I really appreciate anything you guys do for me, and I do appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.